Alright, so just to recap, what we were talking about is you asked me, why does our brain produce disturbing images to create nightmares? So, for me, I feel like the most important way to start this is to define what we're talking about. So, with nightmares, I refer to the International Classification of Sleep Disorders, the ICSD-2. And what they describe is frightening dreams that usually awaken the sleeper from REM sleep. Now, this is not to be confused with night terrors. Night terrors typically occur outside of REM sleep, but the awakening isn't always immediate, and sometimes you don't remember the dream right away. You can recall the frightening dream later at a different time. So for nightmares, typically about 50% of adults report having nightmares, but 1% record having frequent nightmares, which is more than once per week. And so, where do they come from? Well, these nightmares are typically produced from negative emotions. Negative emotions such as fear, anxiety, anger, sadness, or even guilt can fuel these nightmares. So next time someone asks you, or next time someone does something to you and you don't like it, just make them feel guilty about it. And you can rest easy knowing that there's a high probability that it's going to come back on them in the form of a nightmare. But don't abuse that power because you don't want to end up feeling guilty about anything. The most emotionally intense fueled dreams, however, are typically found in the form of like post-traumatic nightmares. So any kind of stressful or traumatic event are more likely to produce nightmares. And this is because nightmares tend to distort replications of traumatic events that happen, or stressful events that happen. So when you're in REM sleep, what the brain does is it's in a highly visual mode. And during this highly visual mode, your brain is recalling memories that you have. Now these memories can be imagined, or they can be memories that you've had since you were a little kid. You might not be able to immediately recall them, but they're always still there in your memory. During the dream, however, when these memories are recalled, the dreams tend to lose information such as time, place, and the context of how these memories were created, or how you felt during the creation of these memories. When the dream becomes threatening is when the nightmare really begins. It's because these negative emotions are flowing through and fueling and spiraling the dream out of control. The images that you see may be based on seemingly random memory recall. However, the current emotional state is what depicts what parts of these dreams are, or how they're interpreted, and play a large part in how the dream unfolds. Those who have high neuroticism, which are people that tend to have and experience more of these negative emotions, tend to be more distressed during their nightmares, because they tend to experience the negative emotions more often. And it all tends to be up to personal interpretations, so it's how you experience and interpret the dream that you're having. And that's what determines whether it becomes a nightmare or not. Someone may see something as threatening and disturbing, while someone else just doesn't. For example, someone who experiencing high anxiety, they tend to have an interpretation bias. And this increases the number of hazardous dream elements that occur during your dream, or things that you will be perceiving as a threat. So to put this in perspective, a thrill seeker is falling from a plane, but for him it's exciting. He loves it. He enjoys it. However, if you were to put someone who has a high fear or anxiety of, let's say, heights, then falling from that plane is probably going to perceive and spiral out of control as a full-blown nightmare. So one of the things you want to learn how to do is reduce your nightmares if you don't enjoy having them. And relaxation techniques have actually been found to help reduce nightmares. Because if you're relaxing these negative emotions that are occurring, causing the nightmares to occur during your dream, then of course relaxing is what's going to help make this go away. And relaxing takes on different forms depending on what's bothering you. If you're guilty or angry or sad, there's different ways to deal with these things and different ways and methods on how to relax. So in your dream, you are less likely to interpret what you are seeing as threatening, as long as the images that your brain selects for this evening's viewing, pleasure, does not correspond with existing phobia or anything of the sort. So good luck and sweet dreams. And with the entire process that I've been thinking about lately is all the coloring that has been added to food. And it can be found in almost anything that we eat nowadays, in food that you consume on a daily basis. My question to you is, why does the color of food matter so much? Good luck.